You ever went to the movies at night excited to see the next big horror film? And as you go inside the movie theaters, you know it's mandatory to grab some snacks. So you order a large popcorn and some soda, and then the cashier tells you your order is a total of $89.47. Then you're in the brink of tears knowing you don't have that type of money because you're just a broke ass. So you turn into James Holmes. But you don't complain, you know, it's all good. You walk past the movie theater aisle feeling like a complete giga chad knowing you snuck something in to drink and eat. Then you walk inside the movie room. Hopefully you booked a seat worth watching the movie in, because we all know that the corner seat is for the freaky ass couple at the movies not even interested in watching the movie. Then you finally take a seat. You can't wait for the movie. Shit, not that movie. Yes, that movie. Horror movies. See, I have a problem with horror movies because there are tropes that are so goddamn repetitive. Let's start from the beginning of these movies, where in horror movies they decide the worst place to live. These niggas could take a vacation trip to the Bahamas, maybe even Bora Bora. You could even say Chicago. Oh, okay, not Chicago. But point is, they choose their vacation spot horrible and decide to go with Doomsville, or an ugly ass place nobody ever heard of. In horror movies, you could have a neighborhood filled with extremely nice houses, but they'd rather choose the trap house, in which their real estate agent probably told them, hey, I know you want to buy this house, but just to give you guys some brief knowledge, 80 people have died here, 10 people have been severely injured, and 5 people have gone missing. And all of that happened just last week. And the family will be like, perfect, we'll take it. And when they finally settle in and decide to move in, they'll find suspicious things around the house and still stick around. It bothers me knowing that there's people in horror movies that try to be the next Sherlock Holmes by searching for the monster in the house. Nigga, we aren't in Scooby-Doo. We don't care about uncovering the monster. And I don't even mean to call out the people who usually do this. The amount of evidence that needs to be presented to them to prove to them that, you know, maybe you need to move out is crazy. They could be face to face with the monster itself, and they'll be like, I don't know, man, it could all be hallucinations. They could have a 4K Sony HD camera with all the specs, take a picture right next to the monster, and think to themselves, you know, this camera could be a little glitchy. Nigga, the monster is quite literally emoting next to you. Leave the goddamn horror trap house. Why do you think there's no black people in these horror films? Because when it comes to black people, the first little peep or screech we hear in a horror house, yup, pack your bags, everyone, we're leaving to Tweeful Beeful Smeesky. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. We're leaving to South Africa. But let's say I was one of those Johns, one of those Billies that decided they want to do their detective work and find the monster in the house known for killing people. And as I'm trying to find the monster somehow finds me. And then we lock eyes. You already know I'm throwing that monster's thick ass in a circle. What are you talking about? The only thing getting haunted is that coochie. If I'm going out, I can't die without losing my virginity. I need it. I need it. I need it. Sorry, I got off track. Let's get back to the topic. Whatever you do in a horror movie, do not go to the bathroom. Unless you want to turn out like Elvis Presley taking a shit. Almost every jump scare or haunted scene happens in the bathroom of all places. Let's say you want to check yourself out, I don't know, getting yourself right to finally get some hoes on a Tinder date. You look at yourself in the mirror for more than 10 seconds and bam! Wait, is that a job application? I mean, bam! Okay, that's better. If you're in a horror movie, find a new place to take a piss, or else you're just gonna die. Speaking of dying, we all know who's infamous for dying first in horror movies, right? Let's say the cast of a horror movie consists of a woman who has a 1.25 GPA, probably uploads pictures of acai bowls and Starbucks drinks on her Instagram. Then the next cast member is an old ass wrinkled, probably needs assistance when taking the shit, on the brink of death and can't even move. And another cast member who happens to be a little person. Yeah, that's all the information I have on this guy. He's just little person. And the last person happens to be a buff black dude who got his degree from MIT. And he so happens to be an exorcist as well. You know who's most likely to die in a horror movie first? The black guy. And that's crazy to think because when it comes to scary shit, black people have spider senses tingling. Minorities always go out first when it comes to horror movies. When in reality, I think we're equipped with that IQ. Let's not even talk about IQ in horror movies. The IQ of characters in horror movies are non-existent. For example, let's say it's nighttime and there's a scary monster out on the loose. You're with a group of friends trying their hardest to survive the night. The most logical thing to do would be to stay together and make sure everyone is safe and sound, right? Nope, not in horror movies. Instead, we should all split up and go our own direction until the monster eats us up one by one. And we make his job just so much easier. Everyone knows it's more logical to stick together like a couple of Power Rangers. Absolutely nothing good comes from splitting up. Just look at Smosh. Then let's say the monster is right behind us, approaching us with the intent to kill. Do you guys know the speed in which they run? They run slower than Internet Explorer. I'm convinced Stephen Hawking could outspeed these monsters with no difficulty. But no, in a horror movie, they decide to do this thing called tripping on literally nothing. No offense, but it's usually women, let's not lie. They'll trip on a goddamn penny and do the most dramatic fall known to mankind. They're given about an hour to get up and keep running, but they'd rather keep crawling and crawling and crawling until the monster finally decides to catch up. Why are you still crawling? You know it took me about an hour to get here, right? You could still get up. My feet is literally planted on the ground. But instead of easily outrunning them, they get caught, beat up, and tortured. Reminds me of this other event, actually. And why is it every time that someone needs information about how to stop a monster or ghost, it's always a Mexican or Native American with the information on how to stop them? Why can't it be a Bob or a Finn? It's always an 80-year-old guy that lives in a mysterious ass house that doesn't like talking to anyone and likes to peek in the window like some creep. Instead of him coming out of his show and just spilling the tea, he wants them to literally annoy them like some paparazzi raiding Kanye, to finally give them some knowledge on how to live and defeat the monster. And for the most part, the instructions that are given to them are simple. Burn something random, sacrifice a cat, but it's always the last request that is damn near impossible. These niggas want you to damn near fly out of this world, land on planet Mars, collect the ghoul burn rock, travel back to America, and shove it up the monster's ass. At that point, you might as well give up. But let's say you did accomplish all those tasks. You burn something random, you sacrifice the cat, and you got the rock from Mars. You'll still die because of the sudden realization that you actually didn't complete the task, because the cat you sacrificed was actually a dog. There's no winning in horror movies. Some shit is gonna happen. And I've always questioned the weapons of choices that characters in horror movies decide to choose. You could have an AK-47 or a butter knife, and they'll take chances with the butter knife. I'm confident majority of these monsters would be defeated if y'all just emptied the clip at them niggas. But instead y'all want to throw shoes at them. Why do y'all think we never see these monsters in the hood? They're always in the suburbs or the forest where the chances of having a gun is 0 to none. If the monster meets O Block, you might as well just start rolling the credit scene because the movie's over. Speaking of objects, we have the infamous phone nobody seems to have. I know for a fact most of y'all are running on Virgin Mobile as your character, because why does everyone's phone have no service? And for the slight chance that they have a good service, their phone wants to be at 1% battery charge on the brink of death. Wait, as I'm editing this, there's actually a more than 5-minute montage of all the times this happened in horror movies. Where is y'all niggas' phones? At this point, I'm convinced you guys don't want to survive. Not to mention when they do find a way out and escape, the perfect opportunity to escape the monster, the car just doesn't want to start up. The car could have been a fully functioning NASCAR winter car equipped with a new engine and a full tank. It could have been a Bugatti, but when you're up against a monster, it shuts down. And for the slight chance that the car does work and it's time to escape, the wheels either flattens, the gas somehow depletes, the monster decides it wants to turn into Sonic, or the main character decides to make the best decision ever, and instead of driving to safety, you know what, nah, let's just take the turn to danger, where they'll eventually meet their death. That does wrap up the video. Let me know if I forgot any trope. I don't know about y'all, but I actually do love when the movie says based on a true story. It's like, damn, this shit is actually real. Shit, hold on y'all, I'm getting a breaking news. Apparently there's bad bitches on my Discord. We have fat white women, we got dark chocolate men. So the only way you can check is if you really join my Discord, link in the description. Now, all jokes aside, here's my second channel for more content. Here's my Instagram and my Twitter. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Waxo for life. Love y'all and peace. Please, if you care about black people, just follow my Instagram. Link in the description. I mean, it has my hair in it. What more could you need? All right, I need to occupy 8 minutes, so that's the real reason why I'm stalling. But please, and like the video if y'all liked it. Thank you. Bye.